they have a card, and it has 10 slots. So they fill in those slots. That's their scorecard, and then they'll hand them to you, and then your job is to run from that building upstairs underneath the truck and hand them to me on the assembly line. Makes sense? I'm not sure how that works, but it is.
So you're saying
But there's a lady in there. I'm gonna take you up and introduce you.
the dog. Their dog.
Up front. You have gloves? Hold on, down there. Put some on me.
Hey, Mom, can you hear me?
And what are the things? How long are they big?
They're
Just
not.
in markers
They're just in.
on the slope. There's
They're
little black things.
yes. They're just in markers, but they also visually. So they can like oh, you can go back there and they tell you. Or write down exactly where they want you to go.
And what are
And
the
I watch
things?
Italian. Mom, really like
You guys kind of straighten it back there, right? Looks like they lost some of that.
yeah.
So how far? Huh?
Oh yeah. Well, it's and when you see the accident, I laugh.
The half pipe. The half pipe always high up for safety.
Right. You gotta be down there.
There's also pictures of the churches. And the ice is a little harder than the snow.
And you break this a lot.
I'll take the pictures on. Come this way a little bit.
No. There's the snowman. I should introduce myself. I'm Leslie.
Oh, yeah, hey. Good to see you. So let's talk about that. Um,
I don't you still live here?
no, but there was a recommendation to call in, and I'm trying to think. I had his number punched in, and I can't remember if I called him or not. Part of the reason I think I may not have, and part of the reason is because I have been in touch with the folks from CFC. The guy who does their e-store is thinking about it
Yeah.
as well. He was very interested in trying to do a
Well, hopefully
combination.
Scotty arranges it.
They are supposed to be deciding, they
Not sure
were,
whether they got
are
the
supposed to
message
be
or not.
deciding their final schedule
Hopefully they did.
Sunday. Tuesday, I think this is, so I figured before we try to,
Yeah.
and I think that would be a great combination. No notice, I always like to have it because it's innovation. Yeah. So, I also spoke with John Orson, this is someone interesting, Angela Bartol, Susan Bartol, and then I also spoke with Scott Pine Orson, and I thought that would be great, but I didn't realize they didn't
No.
have Leslie on the line.
Leslie, I wouldn't touch
So
it.
that's kind of a bummer.
Nobody.
Yeah. So I'm looking at options, but I think Father's Day is going to be too. Well, we're gonna have to do it through.
Yeah, do it and then they can. I just
welcome to the afternoon of jumping here at the Carlisle Ski Jumping Championships, Carlisle Ski Complex here at the Junior National Jumping and Nordic Combined Championships here in Anchorage, Alaska. 4-jumper on the hill, and that'll be Charlotte. What's her? Rip. Charlotte Rip, here with her father and brother today. Our next 4-jumper, I believe, is Owen Monson from Alaska. And we're streaming live here today. Here comes Owen. So we had some technical difficulties, and we also had some weather difficulties. We had to postpone yesterday's jump because of all the snow, yesterday's competition. Although we were able to hold the Nordic Combined competition at Kincaid Park, but we're back in action here today at the Carlisle Ski Jumping Complex. Say our first jumper, Kaylee Bickner from Central. She's on a mixed team. This is the team jumping here today. Teams of 4 from the different divisions. They'll combine their scores from 2 jumps and determine the team winner. And there's Kaylee. 45.5 meters for Kaylee. Our next jumper from the Eastern Division, Caroline Harrison.
I think you just lost the PA.
I know.
Oh, you know that.
Yeah, I know that. On the hill. And there's Caroline with Eastern 1. Our next jumper, Alexa Brabeck from Rocky Mountain. Alexa's on the bar, waiting for the signal from the starter. On the hill. Good looking jump from Alexa from the Rocky Mountain Division. 57.5 meters for Alexa on the 65-meter jump here. Bib number 4 on. That will be Jillian Highfill from Intermountain Division. She goes by the nickname Jumpin' Jill. On the hill. And she sticks the landing. She's 13 years old, started jumping 4 years ago. 55 meters for Jillian Highfill. One of her goals is to meet Eddie the Eagle. On the bar now, bib number 5, Macy Olden from Intermountain Division. Just 13 years old. Jumping for the Park City Ski Club out of Park City, Utah. And Jillian lands it. 35 meters. Sorry, that was Macy Olden, 35 meters.
Okay, I got bib number 6 on the bar.
Our next jumper, bib number 6, Paige Jones from Intermountain Division and the Park City Ski Club. 15 years old, started jumping 7 years ago. Well, we have some enthusiastic fans out here today. Good looking jump for Paige. 58.5 meters for Paige Jones.
Okay, I got bib number 7 on the bar.
Bib number 7, Tess Arnone from Intermountain on a mixed team. On the hill. And Tess lands it. It's out of the Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club, 14 years old. What was it? 47 meters for Tess. Elise Loescher, our next jumper from the Eastern Division, skiing for the New York Ski Education Foundation out of Lake Placid, New York, 15 years old, on the hill. 48 meters for Elise. Our next jumper, Annika Belshaw out of Rocky Mountain.
Okay, I got bib number 9 on the bar.
Annika Belshaw on the bar, waiting for the signal from the starter. On the hill. Nice jump by Annika. Let's get a distance on that. 61 meters. Jumping competitions are determined by a combination of distance and style points. We have 5 judges here today. They throw out the high and low scores to help determine the style points and combine that into the overall. On the hill, Sophia Nestor. Sophia Nestor from the Intermountain Division. 55.5 meters for Sophia. Our next jumper, Rachel Herder from the Intermountain Division. And the Park City Ski Club, just 13 years old. She's jumping for Intermountain number 3 team. It's 4-person teams, isn't it?
4-person teams for boys, 2-person teams for girls.
2-person teams for the girls on the hill, and 4-person teams for the boys. 45 meters for Rachel. Our next jumper, Samantha Masuga from Intermountain and the Park City Ski and Snowboard Club. 17 years old. One of her goals is to own a petting zoo. She's on the hill. Nice looking jump by Sammy Masuga. 61 meters for Samantha Masuga. Next jumper, bib number 13, Anna Hoffman from Central in the Blackhawk Ski Club. Where's Blackhawk? Blackhawk Ski Club out of Madison, Wisconsin. 17 years old, on the hill. Nice looking jump by Anna. Anna. 59 meters for Anna. She says her nickname is Know-It-All number 2. So now we're going to get into the boys jumping. Our first jumper will be bib number 14, Landon Lee from Central. So the Flying Eagles Ski Club out of Eau Claire, Wisconsin, 15 years old.
That mic's not working. Let me have it. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Looks like we got a break. It's like a short break between jumps. That's called what, the takeoff bar? They're adjusting the start bar. As soon as the officials get that taken care of, we'll get underway with the boys jumping. This is
I'll have one of the spectators at home text Jed Hinckley and tell me how hot this mic is. see if my pocket dings.
So were they just test runs?
Nope, those were the first competition jumps.
So there are 2 competition jumps today. We're gotten started on our halfway through our, well, just getting started on our first competition jump for this second round of jumping today. We had a competition earlier this morning, a makeup competition. How did that go this morning, Jed?
Went really well. Yeah, unfortunately or fortunately, I mean, you never want to be upset with snow, but it was snowing extremely hard, so the officials decided that we would postpone the competition today. So we're doing 2 competitions today, an individual this morning, which went well, lots of nice long jumps. We did have a couple athletes fall. Luckily, I think they're both okay. And then now this afternoon, we're doing the team jumping competition.
So we're getting underway here. Landon Lee is on the bar. Landon Lee from Central and the Flying Eagle Ski Club. On the hill. Why don't you announce the distance?
Looked like a nice long jump for Landon. He jumped well this morning. I'm not sure what place he ended up in, but it was solid jumping.
59.
That was a jump of 59 meters for Landon.
Our next jumper will be Camden Wilkinson from Rocky Mountain 1. Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club.
Cannon's a Nordic combined skier, coached by Carl Denny. He's been having a pretty solid year.
15 years old. On the hill.
Nice jump for Cannon. Somewhere maybe right around just past that 60-meter mark.
62 meters for Camden. Our next jumper, Cameron Forbush from East. Out of the Ford Sayer Ski Club. He's 12 years old. Started ski jumping in the 2nd grade. And he loves maple syrup. He's a good Vermonter.
Well, I don't know if he's from Vermont or New Hampshire. Fort Sayer's in Hanover, but they do get a lot of athletes from Vermont.
On the hill.
I'm from New Hampshire, so I'm a little biased, but obviously our maple syrup is much better than Vermont. My dad's a Vermonter, though, so I'll accept that.
50.5.
Alaskans love maple syrup, too. We also make birch syrup.
All right.
What
That was a jump of 50.5 meters.
So our next jumper, AJ King, he's on the bar. 19 years old, been jumping since he was 6.
AJ is out of the Andover Outing Club in Andover, New Hampshire. Also a high school jumper. Decent jump for AJ. I think this is his last year as a junior, so great to see him out here at Junior Nationals.
45 meters for AJ. Our next jumper, Cameron Somerton from Lebanon, New Hampshire.
From the Lebanon Outing Club. I think this is the first athlete since Tara Garrity Moats to come out of the Lebanon Outing Club for the junior national team. So that's great to see.
He's just 15 years old.
Lebanon's had a little bit of a resurgence and now have steel tracks in their jumps, so they've been able to ski in times when the conditions were challenging this winter on those steel tracks. Decent jump for Cameron, although he doesn't seem too happy.
43 meters. And Jed, a big boost to jumping nationwide is the steel tracks, and a lot of hills are putting in plastic.
Yeah.
Number 19 on the bar.
We've had about a little over $10 million put into hills in the last 5 years, including upgrades here at the Carl Ide ski jumps in Anchorage.
Our next jumper, number 19,
Dennis Morgan.
Dennis Morgan.
Dennis got a little twisted there in the air, but landed it down safely.
Start sheet. Someone took my start sheet.
Yep.
There should be another one around.
There was one right here, right?
Yeah.
Number 20.
Oh, you just have the first page.
Yeah.
Both use this one, sorry. Yeah, give it a shot. Thanks for all the folks tuning in on live stream. Thanks Team AK for setting this up, and
55 meters.
50.
Oh, 50 meters.
South Anchorage, thank you South Anchorage for doing the live stream today.
Our next jumper, Eric Gessner.
Number 21 on the bar.
This will be Skylar Amy, our next jumper, bib number 21. From the Winterberry Charter School here in Anchorage, just 12 years old.
Skylar's been jumping really well here today, although he looks like not super happy with that one, based on his body language. I'm waiting for a distance.
48.5. 48.5.
48.5 meters for Skylar. Our next jumper, Hugo Compton from Team Alaska, 18 years old. Started jumping as an 11-year-old.
Hugo's going to graduate this year and just found out he's going to be attending Northwestern University in Chicago.
So maybe he'll be able to jump with the Fox River Grove Club there, the Norgie Ski Club right out of the Chicago area. Put 3 Olympians on the Olympic team this year.
Yep.
49.5 meters for Hugo. Our next jumper, Logan Gundry from Central, the Flying Eagle Ski Club, 15 years old. Wants to compete on the World Cup someday. He's on the bar. And he's on the hill. Logan lands it.
43.5.
43.5 meters for Logan. Our next jumper will be Cooper Saliga. He's a Nordic combined skier out of the Park City Nordic Ski Club, 14 years old. One of his goals is to jump the 90 meter.
The single word that best describes him is confused. Hopefully he's not confused up on the ski jump today.
And
33.
33 meters for Cooper. Next jumper from the east, the Andover Outing Club, Henry Johnstone. His uncle Hans was an Olympian in ski jumping. Henry is 17 years old.
And I believe Henry actually won the U20 Nordic Combined earlier today. So great result for him.
Waiting for the results on that.
Oh, solid jump for Henry. Whoa, way down there. Yeah.
Nice jump for Henry, and he looks pumped about that one. 67 meters for Henry Johnson.
That's our longest jump in this first round.
So hopefully we're trying to
Yeah, we got a lot of headwind here right now, but I'm still good right now. Okay.
Our next jumper, Aiden Rip from Central, the Cloquet Ski Club.
26
Aiden's a member of our junior national team, Nordic combined skier. And he actually just finished 12th place in the Minnesota High School State Championships in the skating event. So really strong cross-country skier.
So he has a future in Nordic combined.
Decent jump for Aiden.
Nice
I know he's
looking.
capable of more, but
58.
58 meters for Aiden. Nordic combined has been the most successful Nordic sport for the United States. We collected 4 medals at the 2010 Olympics in Vancouver. 3 silvers and 1 gold.
actually the coach for that event was Chris Gilbertson, who's here today watching his son Gunnar. Here's Eric Belshaw.
Eric
Solid
lands it.
jump for Eric.
65 meters for Eric out of Rocky Mountain. Our next jumper will be Bryce Clock out of the east.
28 on the bar.
12 years old, jumping out of Lake Placid with the New York Ski Educational Foundation. Lake Placid, New York, site of the 1932 and 1980 Winter Olympics. On the hill,
Bryce got a little off balance there. I know he'll be hoping for more his second jump.
53 meters for Bryce. Boy, it's great to see the crowds out here today with their cowbells. Our next jumper will be Jack Lawrence, also out of Lake Placid, 14 years old. Started jumping about a year ago. He's on the bar. And he's on the hill. Who are those kids? 44 meters for Jack.
We got a great cheering squad of young skiers. out
We
there.
have a great cheering squad of young skiers, as Jed says. I wonder where they're from. What school are they from?
Bib number 30 on the bar.
Bib number 30 on the bar. That'll be Lucas Nichols from Central, the Central 2 team. The Norgay Ski Club out of Fox River Grove, Illinois, just outside of Chicago there.
On the hill.
He's on the hill.
Good jump for Logan. Somewhere down around that 55-meter mark.
54 meters. Lucas likes Moose's Tooth Pizza. I think he's been here before. Okay, our next jumper, Thomas Miller from Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club, 12 years old. Been jumping since he was 8. When he's not jumping, he likes mountain biking. He's on the Rocky Mountain mixed team number 2. On the hill.
Getting right out over those skis. Nice.
47.5 meters for Thomas. Our next jumper from Golden View Middle School, Carter Brubaker.
Carter had the second fastest ski time in the U16 Nordic Combined race yesterday.
He's 14 years old. He's a third generation Alaska skier. Ask his grandmother Jill about wondering if they were going to get nuked skiing at Arctic Valley once. He's on the hill.
Oh yeah, nice jump for Carter.
All right, let's get a distance for Carter. 55 meters for Carter.
Carter, a slightly stronger cross-country skier, but great to see him having some solid jumps out here today.
And we have another Carter up, Carter Lee from Central, the Flying Eagle Ski Club, 13 years old. Besides ski jumping, he likes baseball. He's on the hill. .55 meters for Carter Lee. Next jumper, Kean Crawford from the Intermountain Division.
I believe Keane is coached by Anders Johnson out of Park City, Utah. Park City Ski and Snowboard. He gets the flag. He's on the hill.
Good looking jump.
54.5.
54.5 meters for Kean. Our next jumper, Tate France out of Lake Placid, the New York Ski Educational Foundation, just 12 years old.
Yeah, unbelievable. Just 12 years old, and yet he won the U16 jumping meet this morning.
So he's one to watch. Let's see what he does.
Oh, that one's going to be a long one. Nice jump.
Tate France says his nickname is Tater Totter Fritz. 64.5 meters for Tate. Next jumper from Central, Andrew Urlaub, the Flying Eagle Ski Club. What's the town Flying Eagles is in?
Eau Claire. Yeah, Flying Eagles Club is in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, producing a lot of really strong jumpers these days, and Andrew's also a member of our junior national ski jumping team.
He's on the bar.
Andrew's been traveling all over the U.S., competing in U.S. Cups this winter, and he also attended the Junior World Championships.
He's on
in
the hill.
Marseille, Switzerland. Got some height. Oh, that's a
Whoa!
long jump.
Good
And a
looking
telemark
jump
landing.
by Andrew Urlaub. 69 meters.
I believe that's our longest jump of this first round.
That's
Yeah, we're good here.
way past what's known as the K mark.
Yeah, so the K point means critical point, or that's where the hill starts to flatten out.
So our next jumper, Bennett Gamber from Rocky Mountain, 16 years old. Out of that very strong steamboat program, he's on the hill.
Nice stylish telemark landing.
5-8.
58 meters for
Group number 38
For
on
Bennett.
the bar.
next jumper, Sean Maloney. Sean Maloney from
Thank you.
Kennett High School in New Hampshire, 18 years old.
Sean was just recently the New Hampshire state champion for high schools.
New Hampshire state champion. He lands it.
52.5. 52.5.
52 and a half meters for Sean.
Group number 39 on the bar.
Bib number 39 on the bar. That'll be Teddy Ruth from the east. And the Ford Sayer Club out of Hanover, New Hampshire. He's 15 years old.
Lots of young skiers coming out of Fort Sayre right now, which is great to see. Good looking jump for Teddy.
50.
55 meters.
You know, 5-0.
Oh, 50 meters. Got a little dyslexia here. And we need to get that fastened down. Our next jumper, Eric David from Central.
Group number 40
Eric's
on
from
the bar.
the Mount Itasca Ski Jumping Club in Coleraine, Minnesota.
We've seen Mount Itasca biathletes up here for junior. He's on the hill.
He said his nickname is the Big Tall Freak, and he is a very tall athlete. I know he has a hard time finding boots that fit him.
Just
59.5. 59.5.
59 and a half meters for Eric David. Gunnar Gilbertson will be our next jumper from Rocky Mountain.
Gunnar is the son of Chris Gilbertson. As I mentioned before, Chris was the ski jumping coach for the 2010 team, which got the gold medal in Nordic Combined by Bill DeMung.
And Bill has been to Alaska several times working with the jumping program up here. He's now the head of USA Nordic, I believe. And on the hill is Gunnar Gilbertson.
Good jump for Gunnar.
55.5. 55.5.
55 and a half meters for Gunnar. Our next jumper from West High School in the Alaska Division, 16 years old, Alex Murray.
Group number 42 on the bar.
On the hill, 58 meters for Alex. Our next jumper, Tim Ziegler from the Ishpeming Ski Club.
Group number 43 on the bar.
He's with the Central Division.
Tim's dad, Dick, is also one of the coaches up there in Ishpeming. They're doing a great job producing a lot of young skiers. I think this is the first skier from Ishpeming on the Central team in a little bit.
On the hill,
Really aggressive on that takeoff. Nice stylish telemark landing.
44.
44 meters. And Jed, doesn't Ishpeming have one of the few ski flying hills in the world?
Not in Ishpeming, that's in Ironwood,
Oh, that's
which is just down the road, but in the Upper Peninsula.
in the Upper Peninsula there in Michigan.
Yep. It's called Copper Peak.
Our next jumper, Zach Zelsman from Intermountain. Ishpeming's home of the Ski Hall of Fame, I believe.
That's correct. Yes, it is.
Every skier needs to make a pilgrimage. On the hill, Zach Zelsman.
Really aggressive jump there by Zach.
He's just 13 years old.
50.
50 meters for Zach. Next jumper, Matt White
That's group number 45 on the bar.
from the New York Ski Educational Foundation, Eastern Division, 16 years old.
He's hoping to make the 2019 Junior World Team. Great to see Matt. Matt is currently a junior national team member.
On the hill,
Looks like a good jump, good height. Nice landing. Don't think it's quite as far as Andrew Erlau, but a solid jump for Matt.
65.5, 65.5.
65 meters for Matt. 65 and a half. Hunter Gibson is up next from the Norgay Ski Club in Central,
Bib number 46 on the bar.
just outside of Chicago, Illinois, 16 years old.
Hunter's been jumping really well this winter. Qualified for the Junior World Team as well. Also a member of our junior national team.
It's on the hill.
Ooh, a lot of height, a lot of power off that takeoff. Decent landing down there.
Good looking jump.
69.
Ooh,
69 meters. Is that our longest jump of the day?
ties Andrew Erlaub for the longest jump of the day.
That ties Andrew Erlaub for the longest jump of the day.
Number 47 on the bar.
47 on the bar. That's Decker Dean, D2 out of Rocky Mountain in the Steamboat program.
Should be a long jump here. Decker's been skiing well this winter.
On the hill.
Oh, that's far, folks.
Ooh.
That was probably a little farther than maybe he even wanted to go. Hard landing down there around 70 meters.
75.
I mean, 75 meters.
75 meters, folks.
That could be a hill record. I do not know, but that is very far down there. Well, not. So the problem with landing down there is the hill really starts to flatten out.
What do you want to do?
I did not think we would see anyone going 75 meters today, so that is a heck of a jump by Decker Dean.
I think those were your. There's only two other ones that are really going to be.
I'm waiting for confirmation, but that may be a new hill record, like I said.
So I'd say keep going.
75. We don't know. It was hard to see. I mean, he landed and went back on his skis, but for sure he landed on his skis, but we don't know if he touched the snow or not. But like I said, it's hard landing down there around that flat.
So our next jumper will be Seth Gardner, bib number 48. He's on the bar.
Danny, Mike, you concur? Yes, we concur.
On the hill.
Seth Gardner out of the Salisbury Winter Sports Association in Salisbury, Connecticut. Great to see them represented here.
Up there in the northeast corner of Connecticut in the Berkshires. They've hosted the Junior Nationals in the past.
They hosted Junior Nationals, I believe, 3 years ago. And just yesterday in Salisbury it was 70 degrees, so we're glad they're not hosting Junior Nationals this year. But great conditions up here. We now have Caleb Zuckerman.
Caleb Zuckerman on the hill from the Fort Sayer, 12 years old.
Good jump.
55, 50 meters. Our next jumper, Augie Shiny from Central, from the Snowflake Ski Club, 17 years old.
Snowflake Ski Club is in Westby, Wisconsin. I believe Augie's our only skier out of the Snowflake Ski Club here.
He's got a coach here too, doesn't he?
Yeah, Matt Coiler is the coach at the Snowflake Club.
On the hill.
Matt's an official here today, judging. Good looking jump for Augie. Augie came to ski jumping relatively late. He was an alpine racer before this.
55 meters for Augie, our next jumper, Nicholas Malisinski.
Bib number 51 on the bar.
His nickname is the Flying Finn. He's out of the Rocky Mountain Division and that Steamboat Club.
Nicholas's mom, Essie, is from Rovaniemi, Finland. He spends a lot of time over there.
14 years old, he's on the hill.
Good looking jump. Nice stylish telemark landing.
And of course, there's a long history of ski jumping in Finland.
I believe Nicholas was third place in the Nordic Combined U16s this morning. I'm waiting for a distance.
60 meters for Nicholas.
Group number 52 on the bar.
Bib number 52 on the bar. That'll be West High student Gus Compton. Been jumping since he was 10 here at the Carlisle Jumps. On the hill.
Nice jump for Gus.
60 meters for
I
Gus.
think that might be Gus's longest jump today, although I could be mistaken.
So just 3 jumpers left. In today's first comp round, we'll have another one.
Group number 53 on the bar.
Bib number 53 on, that'll be Stuart Gundry.
Stuart Gundry took a crash this morning, so good to see that he's okay and back up there jumping.
He's just 12 years old on this 65-meter jump.
Got a lot of youth out here at this Junior Nationals this year. Lots of 12-year-olds, which is good to see.
The future of the sport. On the hill.
Looked like he got some height and wasn't quite sure what to do with that.
54 meters for Stuart. Our next jumper, Grayson Scharfs. Grayson Scharfs up next.
Grayson's been having a great winter skiing on the U.S. Cups. I think he was second place in Brattleboro. I believe he was also second place in Lake Placid just recently. U.S. Cups is our domestic series for athletes not quite on the FIS Cup or Continental Cup level.
He's on the hill.
Good height for Grayson. Not exactly the telemark landing that he would be looking for.
He's a Nordic combined skier.
64.
64 meters for Grayson. 1 jumper left in this first round.
No, Grayson's just a ski jumper. This last jumper is a Nordic combined skier, Evan Nichols.
Group number 55 on the bar.
Evan Nichols is on the bar. He's out of the Ford Sayer Club. 14 years old.
Evan was the winner of the U16 Nordic combined competition this morning.
On the hill.
Oh, looks like a good jump for Evan. Oh,
Hey, John, we're gonna have
a little behind on that landing.
64.5.
64 and a half meters for Evan Nichols. So that completes the first round. At the 2018 Junior National Jumping and Nordic Combined Championships. Welcome everybody. Beautiful day here at the Carlisle Ski Jumps. Beautiful day here in Anchorage. Start of the Fur Ronde weekend. School's out today. That's why Hilltop Ski Area is open. We got all these people skiing and enjoying a great winter weekend here. The days are getting nice and long. We've got good snowfall, good snow cover. Does it get any better than this, Jed?
It does not. This is a great day. Super excited to be out here. Great day for ski jumping, great day for cross-country skiing. We're going to have a race after this for the team event, Nordic Combined.
And it's been a great week for U.S. cross-country skiing with that gold medal by Jessica Diggins and Keegan Randall.
Yeah, I know folks in Anchorage must be super excited. Keegan's a hometown girl.
Well, I think cross-country skiers from all over the country are super excited to see that.
Definitely.
It's been 42 years since we last had an Olympic medal. And we have other good news. Jessie Diggins is going to be the flag bearer in the closing ceremonies at the Beijing Olympics. And Keegan has been named to the International Olympic Committee's Athlete Commission.
Oh, great. I did know she was running, so that's awesome to hear. Now, is Keegan going to continue on, or is she done after this games?
The word is that Keegan will be retiring after this year. In fact, I think she's getting ready to move to Canada with her husband Jeff and son Breck in Penticton, BC, where Jeff has a job.
Gotcha.
But I'm sure we'll see her all around the country as an ambassador for the sport. is one of the founders of Fast and Female, getting more young girls active in competing in sports.
Yeah, that's certainly very exciting, and we love all her efforts. Big effort in the ski jumping and Nordic Combined community is Women's Nordic Combined. They had their first ever demonstration event at the Junior World Championships this year, and their first ever Continental Cups as well, so we're excited to see that.
So, Jed, when do we think we might be able to see that in the Olympics?
We're hoping for 2022, so nothing definite yet, but I think that's a very feasible goal. It will be in the, my understanding is it will be in the Junior World Championships next year and World Championships in 2020.
Well, that's good news. Where are the World Championships and World Junior Championships next year?
Put me on the spot, and I'm not quite sure.
Well, the World Championships I know are in Seefeld, Austria, and I'm not quite sure where the World Juniors are. Seefeld, Austria is where they hosted the cross-country events for the 1976 Olympics and were the site of the last World Cups before this year's Olympics, where Sophie Caldwell won the sprint event there and Jessie Diggins was the winner in the 10K event the next day. So the U.S. ski team was riding a high when they got to Pyeongchang, and of course Jessie was oh so close in those first few races. Sixth and a fifth, and then she and Keegan came through in that team sprint.
We also had some really strong results for our men's ski jumping team, with Kevin Bickner finishing 18th and 20th respectively, which are our best results on those size hills since 2002 for the normal hill and 1992 for the large hill. So super excited to see that.
And three of those jumpers on the special team were from the Norge Ski Club.
Correct, yeah. Norge is producing some great jumpers. So small club in Fox River Grove, Illinois, but has some really strong jumpers coming out there. The other ones were Michael Glasder and Casey Larson. Casey Larson's sister, Kara, was here competing today, and unfortunately she did fall this morning and slightly injured her knee, but I believe she's going to be okay. Her dad, Guy Larson, is also here cheering her on, so we're wishing her the best and excited to see Norge represented well at the Olympics and here at Junior Nationals.
And Jed, it is really great to see that they have included women's jumping. They had to fight really hard to get the sport started and then get it included into the Olympics. It's only the second Olympics it's been a women's sport.
Yep. Yeah, no, we're really excited to see women's jumping, hoping for more events in the near future in terms of a team event and possibly a large hill. And then also, as we just mentioned, women's Nordic Combined. So we did have one girl go compete in the demonstration event in Kondersteg this year. Tess Arnone was representing us over there. And then Gabby Armstrong was our first ever woman competing on a Continental Cup. But Tara Garrity-Moats is going to be hopefully traveling to Russia in a couple of weeks to compete in a Continental Cup there.
And is that Nordic Combined, or is that?
Correct, Nordic Combined, yes.
Okay, yeah, I saw Tara in...
Yeah, Tara was just a ski jumper since there was no women's Nordic Combined and almost qualified for our Olympic team. She was very close, just missed out. She did hurt her elbow in the fall, so had a setback there. So unfortunate, but she's really excited to move forward with Nordic Combined. So we're expecting some real good things from Tara.
And Tara was quite the multi-sport athlete. She has been to Anchorage a few times competing in the junior biathlon.
Yeah, I believe she actually went to Junior Worlds for biathlon as well.
So sounds like now she's starting to focus a little more on the jumping, but with that skiing background, Nordic Combined could be a great sport for her.
I think so.
And we've thought for years that Anchorage would be a great place to develop Nordic Combined because we have so many skiers in our junior Nordic program and our high school program. So many skiers we send to the Junior Nationals and Arctic Winter Games. So if you're interested in getting your youngster involved in a great sport, the Alaska Ski Jumping Club has done amazing work here out at the Carlisle Jumps, rebuilding these jumps, and just in the last couple of years getting plastic installed so we can do summer jumping.
Yeah, the two coaches here, Natasha Mattoon and Zach Hamill, are doing a fantastic job. Alaska actually has our second largest program in the country, just behind Steamboat Springs, Colorado. So it's great to see lots of young athletes coming along with a lot of promise, and obviously led by Karen Compton and Vivian Murray, are doing a fantastic job getting folks involved and providing excellent training facilities for them.
And Karen and Vivian are super moms who took on rebuilding this program, raising the money, lobbying the legislature and others, and just an extraordinary what they have done here. Lots of other volunteers have been involved in it over the years. We want to mention some of them. There's what Karen and Vivian call a handful of super volunteers that are been instrumental in keeping this program going. Some of them don't even have kids in the program or any ties to the program other than their love for ski jumping. Those include Mike Jokla, who's been involved for 35 years. I think he's out there raking the hill right now. Trevor Taylor, Tom Smith, John Fryer, J.R. Petit, Jeannie Molitor, Sally and Dick Dworsky, and many other folks. Also want to acknowledge and say a big thanks to our officials. Our technical delegate here up from Park City is Kenneth Barker, our assistant TD, Paul Jastro, our Intermountain judge, Keith Hansen, our Eastern judge, Dan Mattoon, our judge from the Central Division, Matt Cooler, our second Intermountain judge, Jarrett Moore, our Rocky Mountain judge, Alan Belshaw, and our calculations are being handled by Tammy Jastro and Lisa Mattoon. Our coaches from the different divisions, from the Rocky Mountain Division, Carl Denny and Garrett Fisk. From the Central Division, Scott Smith and Brian Wallace. The Nordic Combined coach from the Central is Ken Ripp. Our Eastern Division coaches, Colin Deloney, Chris Jones, and Ariel Picton. Intermountain, Anders Johnson and Blake Hughes. Alaska Division, Zach Hamill. And our Alaska Division Nordic Combined coach, Michael Brubaker. This year's Junior National Jumping and Nordic Combined Championships are being held here at the Carlisle Ski Jumps and Kincaid Park. They've been brought to you by a number of very generous sponsors. Our Ski Flyer sponsorships include the U.S. Ski and Snowboard Association, the Nordic Ski Association of Anchorage, Murray Orthodontics, who's been a supporter of this program for many years and has been taking care of Alaskan Smiles since 1996. The Alaska Heart Institute, also a sponsor for many years. Alaska Airlines, who donated some free tickets to fly up a number of the officials. And the Spring Hill Suites Marriott sponsors the officials' room and is the host hotel. Our ski jumper sponsorship in the $1,000 and over level includes CRW Engineering. John Fryer started jumping here when he was 14 years old, came up from Seattle. The Rayville T-shirt Company, the Alaska Native Youth Olympics, who provided a demonstration of Native youth sports at the opening ceremonies, and Borealis Broadband.
All right, John, you got a copy?
Our jumping enthusiast sponsors include the Alaska Sausage Company, Pepsi, Viking Hall, where we're going to have the closing ceremonies tomorrow, Denali Asphalt, Shemai Kennel, Leah Robinson, Musher, Lorraine Hebert Design, and Alaska 4x4 Rentals. And not to be forgotten, our friends, UPS, Alaska Wooden Spoons, Alaska Mountaineering and Hiking, Spinard Builder Supply, Visit Anchorage, Broken Tooth Brewing, Green Alaska Solutions, and Ski AK. Big thanks to all our sponsors and volunteers, without whom we could not bring this event to you. To you, for you, at you. And not to be forgotten, Hilltop Ski Area in this. Lots of skiers over at Hilltop. Some of them even sometimes come over and start taking up jumping. A famous story of that is one of the United States' best jumpers, Alan Alburn, was a two-time Olympian, I believe. Coach of the U.S. jumping team for a while. Got started as a skier at Hilltop. Saw him jumping over here one day. Carlisle got him on jumps. And a few years later, he was on the Olympic team. He's the only ski jumper Olympian we produced. So we go in the same order? Yes.
Jim Rinkert.
Okay, we're ready to start this round.
Right, we just got word from the jury that we're ready to start. So this is the second round of the team jump. For the girls, they'll be combining the scores from 2 jumps for 2 girls, and for the boys' teams, there's teams of 4. So teams of 2 and teams of 4.
Okay, you have 2 4-jumpers. 4-jumpers. We have A on the bar.
2 4-jumpers today. That should be Charlotte Rip to be our first 4-jumper. Up here in Alaska with her brother and her dad. Charlotte's on the hill.
Okay, 4-jumper, big H. Hat on the bar.
All right, our next 4-jumper will be Owen Monson from Alaska. Next year, the Junior National Championships will be in Park City, Utah, the Olympic Ski Complex. 44 meters for Owen. Well, that's not good. Thank you. Thank you, Pete. Yep. And we are also live streaming this event. Big thanks to South High School Video Club. What do you call it?
Number 1 on the bar.
So you can see this event anywhere around the country. So our first jumper will be Kaylee Bittner. She's on the bar. On the hill.
Kaylee is the younger sister of Kevin Bickner, who did just finish 18th and 20th in the Olympics in Pyeongchang.
Is that 48? 48 meters for Kaylee. Our next jumper, Caroline Harrison, 12 years old from the Ford Sayer Club, in Hanover, New Hampshire. She's on the hill.
Fort Sayre has also produced many, many Olympians, especially for the size of the town. Names such as Jim Holland, Mike Holland,
Jeff Hastings.
Chris Hastings, Tim Tatro.
So
Jeff Hastings was 4th in the Olympics in Sarajevo, I believe, in ski jumping, and Mike Holland actually had the world record at one point.
43 meters for Caroline.
We have number 3 on the bar.
Also, Joe Holland is another member of the Holland brothers.
Alexa Brabeck, our next jumper from Rocky Mountain.
Mike and Joe are coaching in Fort Sayre now and doing a great job. Jim lives in Park City, Utah. He's still very involved with USA Nordic. Nice jump for Alexa.
57 meters for Alexa.
Just a half a meter shy of her first jump, so both good, consistent, solid jumps for Alexa.
Our next jumper, Jillian Heifel.
48.
Says her nickname is Jumpin' Jilly or Jillian Heifelian. From the Park City Ski Club, 13 years old.
Nice looking jump for Jillian. Yeah, way down there. Good job, Jillian.
So nice one for Jillian. Let's get a distance. 62.5 meters.
Our longest jump so far in the second round.
She wants to meet Eddie the Eagle.
I've met Eddie a number of times. He was actually training in Lake Placid when I was growing up. Being from the east, we would train in Lake Placid a lot, and that's where Eddie was training.
Macy Olden, our next jumper from Intermountain Division in Park City, 13 years old.
On the hill.
Did we find out if that was a hill record?
35.
35 meters for Macy.
So we were just discussing whether Decker's was a hill record. I believe it would have been, but there's some discrepancy as to whether he drug or not. If an athlete drags, it does not count as a hill record. However, I also found out that prior to this event, the hill record was 62. So we have set new hill records a number of times. So I believe Andrew Erlau and Hunter Gribson may share it right now at 69 meters, if Decker did drag, which is unconfirmed.
On the hill,
Paige Jones.
this is Paige Jones from Park City.
Really direct with that upper body for Paige. Solid looking jump.
60 meters. Was Hunter Gibson, did he jump today? I don't remember seeing him.
69.
Was he okay, he's one of 16. Our next jumper will be Tess Arnone. She competed in World Juniors.
Yep.
Tess competed in the World Junior Championships this year in Switzerland.
It was a demonstration event for Nordic Combine. Looks like a good jump for Tess.
44.
She's out of Steamboat Springs, 44 meters. Our next jumper will be bib number 8, Elise Loescher,
Number 8 on the bar.
15 years old, competing out of the Eastern Division on Eastern Team 1. Two-person teams in the team competition here for the women, four-person teams for the men. She's on the hill.
Thank you, Scott Nichols, just informing us via live stream that I messed up. Tate France actually jumped 70.5 meters. So if Decker did drag, our official record would be 70.5 meters by Tate France, who's only 12 years old.
Well, that would be very exciting when all these records that are being sent today. Many of these young jumpers, it may be some of the longest jumps they did on the hill.
Oh, looks like a good jump, Veronica. Way down there. She stood that one. Good job, little squat. Oh. So Annika just a half a meter shy of Tate's new hill record.
That was Elise Loescher.
No, that was Annika Belshaw. We missed Elise Loescher.
Okay, that was Annika Belshaw at 70 meters.
Way down there for Annika.
Okay, what was that? Our next jumper will be Sophia Nestor out of the Park City Ski and Snowboard Club, 18 years old. Started jumping when she was 9 on the hill.
Good looking jump.
56 and a half.
Yep.
56 and a half meters for Sophia.
Just had Mike Gibson, who's Hunter's grandfather, checking in on live stream. Glad to know you're watching, Mike. Hunter's jumping well up here, and they're watching from Dallas, Texas. So we got viewers all over America watching our live stream. Who knows, even international possibly.
Welcome to all our live stream viewers. It's a beautiful day here in Anchorage, Alaska, and a great day of jumping. Our next jumper will be Samantha Masuga from Intermountain. 17 years old. She's on the hill.
Where is this? Rachel? No, that was Rachel. Rachel Herder.
Oh, correction, that was Rachel Herder from Intermountain. Rachel Herder from Intermountain. 13 years old. So our next jumper will be Samantha Masuga.
Number 12 on the bar.
What was Rachel's distance?
44.
44 meters for Rachel Herder.
Oh, nice jump for Samantha. Way down there. Missing a telemark landing, though. We'll have to see how her style points are.
63.5 meters for Samantha.
I believe that is our second longest jump in this second round of the women's team.
So our next jumper will be bib number 13, Anna Hoffman from the Blackhawk Ski Club
In Madison, Wisconsin.
in the Central Division.
Good looking jump for Anna.
66 meters
No,
for
6-0.
6-0 for Anna.
We are now on bib number 14, yes.
So that completes our girls jumping in under 16.
That was combined, both U16 and U20 athletes, actually in both of these fields. So they didn't separate them out. We have 4-man teams for the men and 2 women teams for the women's competition, but they were both comprised of both U16 and U20 athletes. So basically the coaches could put together whatever team they thought was going to be their best team, regardless of the age of the athlete.
Kenny Paul just confirmed male 14 through 35, jumper 36 on up, correct? That is correct.
We've got Guy Larson with us right now, father of Casey Larson, a 2018 Olympian, also father of Carol Larson, who we're hoping is doing okay, yeah?
Yeah, a little swelling, but we're monitoring it. Seems
Okay.
all right.
Good, good.
Okay, we're about to get underway here
Thinking of her,
with the
certainly.
boys. Oh, Landon Lee out of the Flying Eagle Ski Club out of Eau Claire, Wisconsin, 15 years old.
Oh, good looking jump for Landon.
Landon brings it down the hill. Let's get a distance.
Nice telemark landing, looking like maybe just past that 60.
63 meters for Landon Lee. That's a Flying Eagle.
Bib number 15 on the bar.
Bib number 15 on the bar, Camden Wilkinson from Rocky Mountain. Been jumping since he was 7. He's 15 now.
Camden a first round jump of 62 meters, so we'll see if we can do this time. Oh, looks like he's sliding off the bar. We got an equipment issue. Definitely want to make sure these athletes are safe, so good to see that folks are monitoring that and making sure that everything's on correctly. I believe Camden may have been third place in this morning's Nordic Combined.
15 back on the bar.
U16 men.
Camden is back on the bar, waiting for the flag to drop from the starter. On the hill.
Good looking jump. Looked like the tips hung a little bit. I'm not sure what the air is doing out there.
60 meters. Our next jumper, Cameron Forbush from the east, 12 years old. And we'll have more jumping tomorrow, folks. Our final day of jumping tomorrow. Come on out.
Tomorrow we're going to do an elimination jump. So if you know like March Madness for college basketball, it's a similar concept with athletes skiing head-to-head in a bracket. And they actually handicap it so that not always necessarily the best jumper is going to win. So based on previous results, they'll give a handicap. So athletes have to beat a certain distance to move on beyond their matchup.
On the hill, Cameron.
Solid jump for Cameron. Only 12 years old.
Out of the Ford Sayer program. So that elimination jumping, Jed, sounds like it'll be a lot of fun tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a new thing that we've tried in the last couple years.
Our next jumper, AJ King from the east, 19 years old. Cameron's on, or AJ's on the bar.
AJ's out of the Andover Outing Club, same club as me. Back when I was an athlete. No ski jumping for me these days.
No jumping for you anymore, Jed?
It's been 12 years. I keep telling people I'm going to put them back on, but I haven't yet.
Masters jumping throughout the country and the world is getting
Yeah,
pretty popular.
we should get Blake Hughes back on the ski jump here. No? He's shaking his head no.
So 47 meters for AJ. There's talk of doing a Masters, national, international Masters jumping competition here.
Yeah.
Cameron Somerton, it will be our next jumper. He's from the east, out of Lebanon, New Hampshire. The Lebanon.
Well, us New Hampshireites would say it's Lebanon, but we'll forgive you for that mispronunciation since you're not from New Hampshire.
Lebanon?
We just slur it all together. I believe I heard a jump of 41 meters, but I could be wrong on that one. Where I grew up is about 40 minutes from Lebanon. Lebanon is being coached currently by, I believe, Ryan McKeon, Eric Smith, and Ed Torville, if I pronounce that correctly, hopefully. Thank you guys for all you're doing there.
Our next jumper, Dennis Morgan.
Dennis is out of the Kennett Ski Jumping Club, now at the University of Utah. It's great to see some of our high school jumpers continuing on to jump into college.
46 meters. Next jumper, Eric Gessner from Central.
Bib number 20 on the bar.
Out of the Blackhawk Ski Club, 15 years old.
Eric's family has been involved at the Blackhawk Ski Club for many years in Madison, Wisconsin.
On the hill.
Keeps that chest nice and low. Nice tall mark for Eric. Good looking jump.
50.5 meters. 50.5 meters for Eric.
Bib number 21 on the bar.
Next jumper, Skylar Amy, 12 years old, out of the Winterberry Charter School.
Skylar's been skiing really well, showing a lot of promise.
Is he Nordic combined?
Skylar is a Nordic combined skier. He's really made some great improvements on the jumping hill. Solid cross-country skier, being coached by Zach Hamill and Natasha Mattoon. I'm not sure which one of them specifically is his coach, but he looks like he got the flag from Zach. Live stream is. Yeah. Good looking jump for Skylar, although he doesn't seem super happy with that.
the batteries again.
Okay. Jeez Louise. Okay, one more to you go though.
50 meters, so it's an improvement of a meter and a half for Skylar, although I think he went further this morning.
So our next jumper, Hugo Compton, Team Alaska, started jumping at age 11. He's 18 now.
Great to see Hugo out here. As I mentioned before, he'll be attending Northwestern University in the fall. Hugo's mom.
50.5 meters.
Hugo's mom, Karen, seemed pretty happy with that jump.
Our next jumper, Logan Gundry, out of the Central, Flying Eagle Ski Club.
23 on the bar.
Logan and his brother Stuart are up here competing, which is great to see.
He's just 15 years old.
Their father, Matt, is very involved at the club and also on a National Hills Committee, so he helps us design ski jumps all over the U.S. So thank you, Matt, for what you do. Good looking jump for Logan.
44 meters for Logan.
Improvement of half a meter for Logan, so good consistent jumping for him.
Next jumper, Cooper Saliga, out of Park City, competing in Nordic Combined. He's 14 years old.
He's hoping to jump the 90 meter as one of his goals. I think he should be able to do that pretty soon.
This is a 65-meter jump here in Anchorage. The jumping complex here has a 10, a 20, a 40, and a 65.
So many of these athletes will be skiing 90 meter hills when it's not junior nationals.
He's on the hill. .35 meters for Cooper.
So it was an improvement of 2 meters from his first round jump for Cooper.
Our next jumper flew. The next jumper will be Henry Johnstone, who flew 67 meters on his last jump. He's out of the Andover Outing Club in the East.
Yeah, Henry's interesting. He actually lives in Massachusetts, but commutes up to Andover to jump. That one, you heard the coaches up on the coaches stand. Tips were doing a little something funky up there, so pulled it together though. Managed to have a decent jump.
61.5 meters for Henry.
Not quite as long as his first round. You could see in the first round he had a good fist bump, but still a solid jump for Henry.
Bib number 26, Aiden Rip from Central, the Cloquet Ski Club, 17 years old. He likes lutefisk, he says.
Ooh, that's pretty much rotten fish, so that's surprising.
He's on the hill.
Looks like a better jump for Aiden. Oh, yeah, there we go, Aiden. Solid. A little bobble on the landing, but I think I saw a fist pump there from Aiden.
Got some distance. Let's see. 62.5 meters for Aiden. Bib number 27 up next. That'll be Eric Belshaw from Rocky Mountain.
Eric's a strong young skier out of Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Coached by Carl Denny and Garrett Fisk.
He's on the hill.
Nice stylish landing or flight, good looking landing. Eric's a really stylish jumper, always nice and smooth.
65.5 meters for Eric.
Improvement of half a meter for Eric there. Solid jumps both times.
Bryce Clock will be our next jumper. Says his nickname is Flying Monkey. He's 12 years old.
Bryce actually lives in Clifton Parks, New York, so about an hour and a half away from Lake Placid.
He's part of the New York Ski Educational Foundation.
I think I saw him shake his head. And
54 meters, longer than his last jump. Came in at 53. Next jumper will be Jack Lawrence, also out of the New York Ski Education Foundation. They train and jump in Lake Placid. He's 14.
said his favorite food is bacon. I've seen a couple of athletes with their favorite food being bacon. Got to be careful eating too much bacon if you're a ski jumper.
As they say, fat don't fly. On the hill. Jack is on the East number 3 team, 40 meters for him. Our next jumper will be Lucas Nichols out of Central and Norgay Ski Club, 16 years old. So we're well into the second round of comp jumps here. He's on the hill.
Good looking jump for Lucas.
58 meters for Lucas.
Solid improvement, 4 meter improvement for Lucas. So good to see a nice second round jump.
Number 31 on the bar.
On the bar now, Thomas Miller from Rocky Mountain, competing on a mixed team. He's out of Steamboat. Trains at the famous Howelson Hill complex there in Steamboat, where they've got jumps and trails and chairlifts.
Nice jump for Thomas.
47 meters.
Consistent, just a half meter different than his first round. So Thomas is only 12, so have many years to come at Junior Nationals.
Our next jumper from Golden View Middle School, Carter Brubaker.
Carter started jumping when he was 8 years old. He's 14 now, so he's been jumping for 6 years.
One of the people he admires is Gus Schumacher, Alaskan, who took a silver medal at the World Junior Championships in the Nordic Relay. Carter's on the hill.
Oh, looks like a solid jump for Carter. Not quite as long as his first one, I don't think.
49 meters for Carter.
Carter ended up 5th place in the U16 Nordic Combined competition this morning, I believe.
Next jumper, Carter Lee. 13 years old. Another Flying Eagle. On the hill.
Big V for Carter.
51 meters. And the V technique has been around for how long now, Jed? Since the 80s?
Not quite. I mean, possibly maybe starting in the 80s, but really since the early 90s on World Cup circuit, 90, 91 is when it started to come into. Originally, they were discounted for style for using it, but then they were going further, so it was worth the discount on style to use it.
The evolution of ski jumping on the hill down. Tate, France.
Most ski jumpers were using it by the 1992 Olympics.
Oh, that was Kian Crawford, correction. Our next jumper will be Tate, France. Kian jumped 55 meters, just a little longer than last time. Tate, France is up next from the east.
I believe this might be our current hill record holder, if Scott Nichols is correct. Again, only 12 years old, so a bright future for him. Nope, this morning Tate went 70 and a half meters.
So he's on the hill.
Really direct, lots of height. Oh, putting it down there. Not quite as long as that.
66 meters for Tate, France.
So I believe now, so this is a team event, so basically there are different seeds. So what they're going to do now is they're going to move the gate down one seed so that all people skiing in this next round will be from one gate lower. That's okay because it's equal for each team, given that there are 4-man teams.
Are these older athletes, or there's just a different seed?
So some of these athletes are older, but just tend to be your stronger jumpers and your better seeds. So age, oftentimes older athletes are stronger jumpers, but not always that way. For instance, Tate, France is only 12 years old and won the U16 competition. So
he was in the first seed.
yeah, I think he's the second to best seed, I believe.
So we're getting underway again here. Bib number 36, Andrew Urlaub.
It should be a good long jump here. Andrew had a solid first round jump of 69 meters, so let's see what we can do in this second round.
He's one of the Flying Eagles. On the hill.
Oh, powerful takeoff, lots of height, carrying it down there. I don't think it's quite as far as that first round jump, but still a good one.
65.5 meters for Andrew Urlaub.
Tate went similar distances, but just remember Tate was from one gate higher, but still a solid jump.
Bib number 37 on the bar, that's Bennett Gamber from Rocky Mountain, 16. He's another one whose favorite food is bacon.
There you go.
On the hill.
Bennett's a Nordic combined skier. Oh, little arm wave there. I don't think he's going to be very happy with that jump. A little off balance in the air.
He went 56.5 meters. Went 58 meters last time. Bib number 38 up next, Sean Maloney. Kennett High School in New Hampshire. 18 years old.
Kennett High School is coached by longtime ski jumping coach Chip Henry.
On the hill.
A good looking takeoff for Sean. I think that might have been a slight improvement, possibly. Yeah.
54.5 meters. Our next jumper, Theodore Ruth, out of the Ford Sayer Club.
I think, I could be wrong, but I think Teddy might do a little jumping for Hanover High School as well.
15 years old. Jumping for East team number 3 on the hill.
Nice V style for Theodore.
44 meters. One of Teddy's heroes is Doug Lewis, U.S. Alpine racer back in the 80s. Took a bronze medal in the World Championships in 1985.
We're going to do the flower ceremony for the jumping over at Camp Cade with the Nordic combined team.
Bib number 40 in the bar, Eric David. It's out of the Coleraine, Minnesota, in the Itasca Ski Jumping Club. It's on the hill. Fif- 55 meters for Eric David. Bib number 41 on the bar. That'll be Gunnar Gilbertson out of Rocky Mountain.
Little known fact, I actually used to live with Gunnar's parents, Chris and Candace Gilbertson, when I was a Nordic Combined skier, but this was before Gunnar was around.
You're an old guy,
I
Jed.
am, yes. Take a decent takeoff and got a little off balance in the air, but still solid.
Well, one of the great things about skiing and ski jumping, Nordic Combined, is the generations that have been involved in the sport. I know we have some third-generation families out here this week. Our next jumper will be from Alaska and West High School, Alex Murray. He's on the hill.
Well, they got it right there. Someone's got it.
Good looking jumper, Alex.
52.5 meters. Our next jumper from Michigan, the Ishpeming Ski Club, Tim Ziegler.
So Tim's dad, Dick, coaches cross country up there, and then Gary Rasmussen is the coach at Ishpeming right now.
He's just 15 years old.
Their
On the hill.
90 meter is known as Suicide Hill up there in Ishpeming. Oh, Timothy doesn't look very happy with that one.
Ishpeming has hosted national competitions in the past. As we mentioned earlier, the home of the U.S. Ski Hall of Fame. Our next jumper, Zach Zelsman from Intermountain and Park City, 13 years old.
His goal is to jump as good as Josie Johnson. Josie's another jumper from the Park City Ski and Snowboard Club.
.46 meter for Zach. Our next jumper from the East in the New York Ski Educational Foundation, Matt White.
Matt White is a member of our junior national ski jumping team. I believe Matt was second place in the U16s last year at junior nationals, if I'm not mistaken. I think Andrew Urlaub won and Matt was second, but I could be wrong.
On the hill.
Got some height, nice V, looking good. A little bit of a two-footed landing. I don't think Matt's going to be super happy with that jump. Hard to know what the air is doing.
62.5 meters for Matt White. Our next jumper, Hunter Gibson.
Hunter's nickname is Sloth, although he jumps better than a sloth, so that's good. He had the second longest jump in that last round of 69 meters, tied with Andrew Urlaub.
He's been one of our big jumpers all week here. He's from the Norgie Ski Club out of Illinois, 16 years old. Been jumping now for 11 years. On the hill.
Good jump for Hunter, although he seems to not be super happy with it. Looks like maybe the air's died down a little bit. Hunter has a really powerful takeoff and trying to fly it down there as far as he can.
65.5 meters. Took it right down past K, where the hill starts to flatten out. Our next jumper, Dean Decker, Decker Dean, D2 out of Rocky Mountain.
Decker went 75 meters last time, which is really, really far. Let's see what we can do this time. Lots of height, getting out over it. Decent. Not as far as his last jump.
69 meters for Deckardine.
That still, I think, is the longest jump here in the second round, if I'm not mistaken.
Bib number
Oh, excuse me. Annika Belshaw went 70 meters. I stand corrected.
Seth Gardner. So Annika Belcher has this longest jump in the second round. Seth Gardner up next from the East Salisbury Winter Sports Association.
Coached by Ariel Picton. Solid looking jump for Seth.
46 meters for
Salisbury's
Seth.
had a nice little resurgence in their program recently. A number of kids getting involved. Ariel's doing a great job going out and recruiting kids from the local area.
And this is a great sport to get your kids involved in. It does not involve inverted aerials, like some of the other sports you're now seeing in the Olympics. You don't have to do 360s, 720s, 1080s, mute grabs. On the bar now, Caleb Zuckerman out of the Ford Sayer program, 12 years old. Let's get a distance for Caleb. 47 meters for Caleb. So when you pop a good jump, does it feel like you're floating? That's what I was told once. Okay. When you pop a good one. Okay. So our next jumper is Augie Shiny out of the Central Division. On the hill. So Jed, I've been told that when you pop a good jump, it's like you're floating. Is that true?
Yeah, I would definitely say it's true. Floating, flying, it's definitely exhilarating. You feel very effortless and just like you're floating through the air.
Floating and flying. Sounds like a pretty good combo to me.
I'm color for live stream.
So Nicholas McKinsky on the hill.
There you go. There's Nicholas Malasinski. Very stylish telemark for Nicholas, although he doesn't seem to be happy with his jump based on the body language.
61 meters for Nicholas, the flying fin out of Steamboat Springs. Jed was saying he spends his summers or spends a lot of time in Rovaniemi, Finland. A lot of great jumpers have come out of from the Finnish teams. And coming up next, West High School student, 16 years old, Gus Compton.
Gus had a last round jump of 60 meters.
On the
let's see what
hill.
we can do here. Looks like a good takeoff. Looks like that one's going to be a little shorter than last one.
Let's get a distance for Gus. 56.5 meters for Gus Compton. Bib number 53 on the bar. That is Stuart Gundry. Stewie. One of the Central Flying Eagles, 12 years old. So just and let's get a distance for Stuart. 51.5 meters. And once again, a big thanks to all our volunteers and sponsors. Just 2 jumpers left. Grayson Scharfs says his nickname is Powdered Toast Man. Out of Park City, Utah, 16 years old. Good looking jump for Grayson. Way down the hill. 66.5 meters for Grayson. Bib number 55 on the bar. Evan Nichols out of the Ford Sayer program, 14 years old. On the hill is Evan. Good looking jump for Evan. 66.5 meters for Evan Nichols.
Okay, I got a 4-jumper, big 8 on the bar.
So that's finishes our second round. We have a 4-jumper or a post jumper. Says Owen Monson. Karen, that's it. So that completes our jumping for the day. We're now going to head over to Kincaid Park for the Nordic Combined team competition. Please join us over there. And if you can't do that, please join us here tomorrow for the elimination round jumping. That's sure to be very exciting and a lot of fun. It's been a beautiful day here at the Carlide Ski Jumping Complex at the Hilltop Ski Area here in Anchorage, Alaska. If you've been watching us on the live stream, hope you enjoyed it today and hope you come visit us sometime. You can follow this great sport of ski jumping, all these junior athletes. You're going to see future Olympians jumping and skiing here this week at the 2018 Junior National Championships for ski jumping and Nordic combined. Big thanks to Jed Hinckley, who is doing our color commentary here on the live stream. And we'll be back here tomorrow. We're going to head over to Kincaid. Now, this is Jim Rankert saying we'll see you at Kincaid Park.
So my son and his friend says you're a really good announcer.
Oh, well, thank you.